anybody know if, Gwinnett Tech offers a, public speaking class?
Yeah.
They do? Is it a requirement or is it an elective?
I'm not sure.
Public speaking, huh? What's, no, what's, oh, yeah, how you doing? Don't get started. This is called public speaking. Speech 1101, public speaking. Introduction to fundamentals of oral communication, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm gonna ding you. You're not, you got I'm gonna go ahead and say it's no one can do it, but, you're gonna run into some traffic problems at a bad level. You need to just take your time and get it, cut the floor and have an accident. Get here at 9:30, I'm like, come on, really? Just beware, just be mindful of, I'm trying to break your neck to get there, exactly at 8:30. Just come on in, sit down, and, I'll learn something. Just don't want you to get into an accident just because you're trying to race to get here. Now, the real job, you know, you gotta get your butt on, get your butt here every time. That's the real job. That's the real job. What are we doing? Class is 11:22. Everybody get the no-show. One of y'all, got a 0. I just went on here and gave you 100 points for the no-show. Well, this week you've got some labs, and we're gonna try to go through some labs. Some of y'all already got it going on. I don't know who this is, but this ain't gonna count here. A 0, whatever it is, over that. That don't work, do it again. Okay, so. 28. Happening in the news, we at war yet? Who's been in the military, anybody? Yeah, that's right. You did your time. First you gotta need to mount up. Get ready to get called up. State women too. Politics at all. No, I won't. There you go. Trouble, but you know what? I gotta be me. Except for me. I'm good. I just don't like this place. Straight up. That's just what I feel about it. So if you're not dead, listen to political stuff, you just gotta deal with it. You don't have to tell the demon nothing. You get my age, you just be saying stuff. I'm ready to start. I'm ready to go already. It's 8:30. Okay, so now it's time to learn something, right? I hope everybody got a chance to read that blah, blah, blah stuff, right? How to be a technician and all this other kind of stuff. It's fine, but hopefully you were able to do that. It's time to get into the nitty gritty. One of my favorite trainers said, keep the main thing the main thing. So, lesson 1, IT specialist, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. The role of an IT specialist, blah, blah, blah. Skills and abilities, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying it's, see, it's different between blah, blah and poo-poo. Poo-pooing is like, I don't care. Blah, blah means you just gotta read it, right? Blah, blah, blah. So, we really didn't have to do anything, to be honest with you. Now we gotta fish or cut bait. So we're in lesson 2. And I already actually started lesson 3. They jump around a lot. I'm not really sure what jumps around. I'm trying to keep it flowing. Last week, we already talked about the main components of a computer. We pretty much did that, so why don't we just go over this real quick, like we always do for the next 5 weeks. We know we start out with a MOBO, right? Motherboard. We got a MOBO. I'll just do MOBO for motherboard. And then the major piece of a computer, that's the processor. CPU, right? Okay, and then let's see some other stuff we need to talk about. There's the CPU, and then we have to talk about the RAM. The RAM chips, this is like a desktop. The desktop is how we work. If I use an analogy, my brain is the processor, and so the processor is making these calculations using ones and zeros. We need to know this. We need to know that the computer only understands 2 things. It's a 1 and an alt. That's it. 1 and a 0, 1 and 0, 1 and 0, 1 and 0. It does calculations based on 1 and 0, using something that's called XOR and all that kind of stuff. That's math stuff. You don't even know that. Point is, that's how computers work. 1s and 0s. My language is English. A little French, Spanish, not much though. Pidgin French and Pidgin Spanish. But computer only understands 1s and 0s. So pretend like you're on the planet Binomial. And on the planet Binomial, that's all they talk about is 1, 1. They just go around talking like this: 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. That's how they talk. Same thing with a computer. So a computer will feel good, will feel right in place. They feel like they're at home. They're on the planet Binomial, because the planet Binomial uses a language called binary, which is 1s and 0s. Got to keep that in mind in the IT world. 1s and 0s. And that processor understands 1s and 0s. So it makes calculations, and it has to place the results of a calculation somewhere on that desktop. Somewhere on that desktop. So I'm sitting here at my desk. My brain is the processor. I make the calculation. The results of that calculation has to be placed somewhere temporarily so I can make another calculation, because the computer can't do 2 or 3 things at the same time. Honestly, it can't. But there's a way we can trick it to think it is. For right now, the processor can only do 2 things. They make a calculation and then send the results somewhere. We got to put the results of that calculation somewhere, so we put it on the desktop. If I'm sitting here at my desk, and the desktop is gonna be my space for where I put the results of a calculation. So I calculate something, I'm gonna put it right there on the desktop. Is that? There. Is that? There. Then I go back and get that, and I go back and get that, and I bring it back, make another calculation, I put it back on the desktop. For a computer, that's called RAM. Random access memory. RAM. And I put a little notch right there just for the giggles. There's a reason why I put a notch right there. And I'll just do 2 RAM chips. Think of these RAM chips as the desktop of some desk. And here's me. Okay, that's me. And it's my brain inside here. Brain, right? That's the CPU. And this is the desktop. This would be the RAM, random access memory. Random access memory. And so, I'm doing all these calculations, I'm playing a game. I'm killing Germans, right? In Call of Duty, right? Old school Call of Duty, I got like 5 or 6 of them. I'm playing a game. So once I need to save where I'm gonna save it so that I can come back and play tomorrow, because I'm playing this game at work, and people walking by, I don't want to see them, I gotta store that saved game somewhere. I'm gonna store that saved game in my drawer. This is the analogy of this. Does it make any sense? So the RAM is here. Right? The brain, processor, CPU. You know, maybe well, one of y'all said y'all colorblind, right? Was that another class? CPU. So now I need to save the stuff that's, all these calculations I've done, I need to save them somewhere. So I'm gonna save them in my drawer. And in that drawer, you know what? Stand by. We're just doing a review, and we keep doing this each week until you get this. Because this is your tool right here. In the IT world, this is your tool. They don't want to tell you this, but I'm telling you this so you can make money. This is your tool. It's like a fireman, a hatchet and a hose. That's their tools. If you're a pilot, what's your tool? Okay? So what's your tool? In the IT world, what's your tool? You know anything about a computer? You say no. Most of you don't. But I'm going to teach you that. The main components. And here we go. We're doing the main components. Motherboard, processor, RAM. Okay? I guess this would be motherboard. Processor, RAM, this is desktop. Storage. Right? And inside the storage we have folders. And inside the folders we have other folders. Right? And then we also might have what in there? Files. You just doing stuff, you don't even know what you're doing. Are you playing around? Dropbox, folders, files and folders, folders and folders, more folders and folders. Storage. So over here, I play the game, I take all the stuff that's on the desktop, pile it up, put it in the drawer. Go home. Come back, open the storage up, take all that crap out, and put it back in memory. Put it back in RAM, because nobody works like this. Nobody works like that. They take the stuff off the storage and put it where so they can work on it. Ha! Okay, so what do you think this cat does? That's my picture storage. When I turn the computer on, I take what's here and put it where so I can work on it. I can go back and calculate. You good? Okay. Yeah? So now let's do another piece. All motherboards, all RAM and processors, storage, need Go Juice. Mr. D, what's Go Juice? What's Go Juice? What do you think Go Juice means? Okay, I got it from a movie called The Wonder World. So moved by go juice. Oil turns into
Oh.
electricity. Electricity comes up the wall. Okay, that's just me, go juice. So I always gotta have go juice. Go juice is an outlet, right? Right? And here we have this device that regulates the power, that regulates the go juice, so this sucker don't burn up. And that's called the power supply. You stay with me, I'll get you there. I don't know about anybody else. And I like to draw it like this, because that's me. Yeah? You see where I'm going? You going with this? Come on now. Now, I wonder what the go juice is for this sucker. Hush your mouth. I think you're ready, but you can't leave yet. Maybe later I'll let you go early. But, okay, so I could be a battery. I don't know how you're gonna draw a battery. I'm just yapping right now. Battery, right? Okay, cool. All right, I see what you're doing, Mr. D. You added some pieces to this sucker. I got storage. Oh yeah, by the way, we'll come back to this when we get back to storage. I'm adding the pieces as we go, because I gotta tell you about this later. But right now it's the main thing. Motherboard, processor, RAM, storage, go juice. Yeah? All right. Let's finish up with the mobile. Then I'll come back and we'll do something I don't understand why they talk about connectors. We still need to learn this motherboard before we do connectors. So I'm gonna do this, just stay with me. I got 2 other videos I'm gonna show you. Need to unhide this too. Sorry about that, I got to unhide this. But I wanted to do these last 2. Now when I do these, finish up with these motherboards, next week I won't have to worry about it because we've already completed motherboards. I can move on to something else. I don't have any control of how the stuff is structured in Blackboard, but the way I like to teach it is, I teach you the basics first, which is this motherboard right here. And then we start talking about the components that go on the motherboard. Yeah? Yeah. All right, so let's finish up with this. This one right here, yeah. Did we do this last week?
Tackling your security concerns starts with a prompt. With Sola AI, you get answers to this.
Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about motherboard form factors. Now the motherboard is the main component of a computer.
No kidding.
It's basically a large circuit board that's mounted into a computer case, and it's where all the computer components connect to. Now motherboards come in different shapes and sizes, and this is known as a form factor. And in addition to its dimensions, the form factor includes the type of power supply and the power connectors, the rear I/O panel, the mounting holes, and so on. So a form factor is a standard in computers that manufacturers follow to make sure that their parts are compatible with a motherboard. Now the most common form factor that's used in PCs today is ATX. ATX stands for Advanced Technology Extended. Now this is a non-proprietary industry specification that was created by Intel back in 1995 and is...
Did I do this last week?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm going over stuff, man. I did this, man. So let's assume we did this. What about this cat right here? Did I do this one? I did this one too? Yeah, let's do this one. Then we finish with the motherboard.
In the last video, we went over some of the most important specs of a CPU.
You sure? We didn't go through this one though. Yeah, I tell you what, let's go through this one, man. Done.
Check that out if you are interested. In this video, we will be comparing motherboards of different sizes and hope it can help you make your purchase. Before we go through different types of motherboards, here is a brief explanation of what a motherboard is. Simply put, a motherboard is what connects your CPU, RAM, GPU, disk storage, power supply, and all the other components of your PC.
Okay.
They all rely on the motherboard to communicate and cooperate.
Really?
The Wikipedia page also gives a list of motherboard form factors. Most of them are obsolete, and we'll be focusing on 4 of them that are most common in the market.
Okay.
Starting with Mini ITX. Many IDX boards have a standard dimension of 6.7 by 6.7 inches
What you
and are
think?
usually used for small
Maybe.
form factor builds.
I don't know.
A typical mini IDX board has only 2 memory slots and 1 PCIe
Oh,
lane,
not this one.
meaning
Yes,
that you
four.
won't be able to add any extra PCIe expansion cards if your build has a GPU. In addition, mini IDX boards are often more expensive than micro ATX boards of the same chipset, and even some of the ATX boards as well. After sacrificing both budget and expandability, what you get is a smaller and often more aesthetic build. If you want a budget build, micro ATX or simply MATX is a better option. An MATX board has a standard size of 9.6 by 9.6 inches. However, there are many variations that are slightly smaller than the standard size. Some of the cheaper MATX boards have only 2 memory slots, instead of the 4 slots of a standard-sized board, and fewer PCIe lanes as well.
Maybe.
If you have a rather powerful CPU, a low-end MATX board likely cannot power your CPU to its full potential. Choosing between MATX boards of different prices really depends on your budget and needs. Moving on to ATX boards. A full-size ATX board has a dimension of 12 inches by 9.6 inches and typically has 4 memory slots and multiple PCIe lanes. The pricing of ATX boards varies from as low as less than $100 to $700 on high-end models. One reason for its large price range is because of the different chipsets, which we'll talk about in our next video. Going up even higher are the eATX boards with a dimension of 12 inches times 13 inches. These are truly enthusiast-level hardware and can cost up to nearly $1,000. When choosing a motherboard, there are 2 approaches. You can first determine the size of your PC, and then choose between motherboards of different sizes. Or you can start from the CPU you want to purchase, and then
That's me. I always start with the processor first, and then I move out. Then you can do it the way you want to. You want to go for the motherboard, then move in, it's all good too. For me, processor. Then you determine what kind of motherboard that processor will fit on. Okay? Potato, tomato, tomato.
choose a motherboard that can fully power your CPU and also does not cost too much. No matter what motherboards you buy, always make sure that it fits in your computer case.
Okay.
Lastly, thank you for watching and see you in the next one.
So, all right, here's my motherboard, and here's my case. Fit? I know I'm being, but that ain't gonna work. This is a case. There's a motherboard in here, so this ain't gonna work. So that, see, common sense, right? Okay. All right, so now, I think we're down with these motherboards. I think we've done some damage. I think we kind of understand the motherboard. So let's see, motherboard is important because it's gonna contain all our components. Motherboard is gonna need some go juice. We'll come back to the go juice. I just threw it in now. Get your mind right so this is all, right? So motherboard, you gotta get some go juice. The go juice is probably going to, get some other things too inside. You know, wall plate and a battery. Could be solar, right? And wind. Point is, you gotta have some kind of go juice. Okay. So what's next? Lesson 2. I don't like this, but I ain't got no choice but to teach it in this fashion. Lesson 2. So I'm in Blackboard and I click on lesson 2. So what do we need to understand about what is due? This is some reading, cables and connectors, right? So you're gonna go up here. Now, I'm not gonna do this every week, but I'm just making sure that you understand what you're required to turn in, because remember the main part of the scoring for the A, B, C, and D is labs and quizzes, right? And I think labs, these combined is either 75% or 74%. And I can get you there. I can get you all this in a bag of chips. All you gotta do is just come to work, clock in, do the work, clock out. 75%. I got you. I got you. Then after that, you gotta figure out if you wanna make a A, B, or C. I can get you a C. So now you folks, just assume everybody making a C. Because you're gonna do this. All you're gonna do is you're gonna do the labs, and I'll give you all the points for the labs. As long as what? Two things. You do them on time, and you give me more than an alt. You see an alt up there? You try it again. Try it again. Try it again. If it's lab is an alt, run that sucker again. And then, hey, listen to me, because that's what y'all don't do is listen. They add up. In other words, you missed 2 labs. The time to turn them in is over. You know, the dean has already told me, don't be going back, giving people extra time. And I ain't gonna lose my job for y'all, because y'all temporary, okay? So, do them on time. And I know if you got a problem with something, you gotta send me a message, because once you send a message, I gotta send that to the dean, and they're gonna look to see, and I ain't going through all that. So my first priority is you send me a message saying, dog ate my computer. I'm so sorry. 0. And I ain't going back and changing nothing. So you do this for me. Time and more than 0, I give you the points. Any last one of them points, you got it. That means you went out there and you attempted to do a lab, and some of them like, you kidding me, Mr. D? I done this about 10 times, I can't get all the points. I've done it 10 times, I can't get the point. So I'm gonna give you the point. Quiz, what was the contract? Is it 4 or 5? 5 of them? 5 attempts. Trust me, y'all lazy. I've seen it. 1 attempt, 80%. Okay, keep doing that. You should be doing 85 and above. Let me try it again. 85 and above. Don't ask me this, I ain't no math major. I did go to tech, so I knew something about math, but I ain't no math major. You kids getting 80s and 70s, you ain't getting close to 75%. It's gonna accumulate. And I'm like, I've been trying everything I can at the end of this class. Damn, this cat has been doing everything. And I was like, what can I do to help him get over the hump from a C to a B or B to an A? And I'm looking at those quizzes, and I'm just shaking my head. 1 attempt, 62%, 74%. I cannot go back and change the grade. It is what it is. I'm done. Okay. So cables and connectors. We're gonna read this. So let's see, cables, connectors, and scroll through. Personal computers. Is this blah blah? Yeah. Blah blah. Every computer has a case. I ain't going through this with you. Case. Ooh. 2.1.2. Explore the lab interface. 2.1.2. There it is. Optional. Okay. Give you a hint. You're not required to do this lab. I suggest you should do it because I expect, if I'm gonna hire you, I expect 2 things out of you as an employee in the IT field. 2 things. Critical thinking, curiosity. Look it up. In this field, if you want to be a part of the tribe, you have to show the employer critical thinking and curiosity. Now, critical thinking you can work on. Some people just got it. They got it. Critical thinking, it's more like moving from the physical world into the logical world. That's critical thinking. That's difficult to do sometimes when you're doing virtualization and you're doing all this other kind of stuff that you'll learn as you go through these 2 years or whatever. That's critical thinking. To move from this world. So everybody likes this world. I like this world too. When you're touching stuff, but on the job, you ain't touching jack except for that keyboard and a mouse and a monitor. You ain't going to nobody's data center. I'll laugh at you. You're gonna last half a day. That is the critical thinking, where you move away from this to this. Now, the second part is curiosity. I'm asking you to try to be curious and do it, even though it says optional. But you know what? You do you. I get paid. Now, these two you're required to do, 2.1.16 and then 2.4. So how is it that we jumping from 2.1.16 to 2.4? Why you asking me? I don't know. That ain't got nothing to do with critical thinking, man. Curiosity, yeah. I'm like, why are we doing this, Mr. D? You click on outline, and right now I'm at 2.1.2. So I did the cable. Now you ask me to play around with this, which you should do, but I'm not gonna get any points for it because it says optional. But I'm gonna do it anyway because I'm curious. And then after that, I start talking about other things like peripheral devices, USB, display type, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why we jumped from here to 2.1.6. 2.1.6. There it is right here. So I see 1 is this, and then I jump to 2.1.6. It's down here. Set up a computer. And you'll notice that if it has a rack, that's a lab. There you go. These two match up. So I gotta do this one. And Mr. D says, if I do it, that's cha-ching, that's a lab. So that's a given. This cat up here, 2.1.6, where it was, up here, what's this? I get confused with these numbers. I have to write them down on the board. 2.1.16? Where are we? 2.1.2. Here, that's optional. Optional 2.1.2. They just jumping around. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't have any control. Bless you. I don't have any control of this. This is optional right here. So 2.1.2 is optional. 2.1.2, that's optional. Should put it in red, should put it in green. Red is quiz. But this one is mandatory, right here. Right here, where you at? 2.1.16. 2.1.16. That's required. That's required. So that's, I'm assuming that's done. Y'all got that. And this one right here, this one's tough. I was doing it the other night. I'm like, oh Lord, they changed it. Lab. You're gonna have to fart around with this one. Okay, oh no, snap, there's a quiz. Ouch. So let's do it this way. So let's do this in green. 2.1. 2.1.2. 2.1.2. This is optional. Optional. Required. 2.4. This is required. This is a heavy duty one right here. Required. I'm gonna let you play with that one. That's tough. And then we got a quiz, right? Quiz 1. Quiz 1. And you notice how she's broken this up? Chapter 1 and part of chapter 2. And if you notice, you gotta be curious, you notice that chapter 2 is broken up into 2.1, 2.2. See, I already did motherboard for you. Yeah, I know, you love it. I already did it for you. 2.3 and 2.5. There's 2.4 right here. So how is it, Mr. D, that we way up here, and then program director drops all the way down here to do this lab? I don't know. I wouldn't have done it this way. But maybe I'll give you some more time on this one, because it's long. It's like, really? So we'll see. We'll see how you guys do. This one should be done. This should be open for next week instead of this week. But I can see it right here, 2.4. So how do we jump from 2.1 to 2.4? Why are you asking me? I don't know. Why we do cables? CompTIA thing, talk about cables. I don't think you should talk about cables until you understand this. But we gotta do the cable thing, so let's do the cable thing. All right, so we know what's required of us for next week. So what is this? Let's go to these. Not that many videos today. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. They gotta do the lab for you. So let's do this. Let's take a quick break. Come back in 5 minutes. Let's do the videos. Then let's make a lab. And call it quits, right? I know you're ready to go already. I know you're ready to go, right? 10 o'clock. 10:15.
It's over now?
No.